Good evening, my friend. Welcome to the show. Happy Wednesday. I am Lou Mangello. Thank you so very much for being here. If you're watching live, we're going to have some fun tonight. We're going to play a little live trivia. If you're watching on the replay, you can still play along, but don't forget to join us here every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Let's kill that for a second. Sorry for a little technical hiccup and a bit of a delay. And I know I have something on my head. I know I'm literally getting comments and texts and private messages like, Lou, somebody literally said, you forgot to wash your face. I did not forget to wash my face. This is not dirt. It is ashes. I am Catholic, and today is Ash Wednesday. And somehow I've been able to, she went in there like deep when she put on the ashes today. So they have lasted the entire day and entire night. So I thought today we would, or tonight, maybe it's today, wherever you're watching, we would have some fun and play a little live trivia, as it were. So again, if you're watching live, tag and invite a friend if they want to come and play along. Couple things very quickly. Thanks to everyone who tuned in and shared comment about, again, the show I wasn't sure I was ever going to do, which was the top 10 restrooms in Walt Disney World. This one was literally by popular request and demand. You asked for it. We did it. I very hesitantly, I wasn't sure if this was one that would resonate, but clearly everyone has everyone goes and everybody has an opinion about some of their favorite restrooms in Walt Disney World. I know that there are some that we missed on the list. Please be sure to add those to the discussion over in the clubhouse at wdwradio.com/clubhouse. And don't forget that if I ever suggest a segment on the show, a lot of times I'll reach out to members of the WDW Radio Nation. So if you are part of the Nation family, you can always pitch me an idea. Even if you're not part of the Nation, you can pitch me an idea for the show. But again, thanks to Garrett Longhofer, who reached out, made an impassioned plea. He was the only one. He was the only one who reached out. Now everybody's like, oh, I wanted to be on the show too. I did put it out on a Wednesday night. So next time I do it, make sure that if you want to be part of a show, you go ahead and let me know. So were there any that I missed? Were there any restrooms that I missed? I know a few mentioned the Toy Story Land restrooms, and someone else mentioned restrooms in one of the resorts. There was a couple of resorts that popped up. Hannah, he was a great guest. Garrett said he was a little nervous. You never would have known. He was great and had clearly did his research, which is the most important part. It is it's the recovering attorney in me that comes out when it comes time to do some of the research. Justin said, I think Lou missed a spot in the shower. No, this stays on all day, all night. It'll be all over my pillow tomorrow morning, and then it comes off. This is the beginning of a special time for Catholics and Christians and the observance of Lent. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm giving up because I'm going to Italy in like 2 weeks. So giving up carbs, giving up pasta, giving up some of those things is going to be an actual impossibility. I need to figure out something that is not going to necessarily detract from the Italy Adventures by Disney, which, by the way, certainly we are going to be sharing along the way March 9th through the 16th. I know that some of you who are watching live are going to be joining us. If you are watching live, going to be there, let me know. Let me see you in the comments. And we have some other great trips planned coming up soon. We've got our Wyoming Adventures by Disney coming up this summer. We have our, let me get to it. We have our cruise on the Fantasy coming up in April. We're really sort of catching up on things that were postponed due to the pandemic. Italy was postponed from 2019. The Wyoming ABD, I believe, from 2020 or so. So we're catching up. So it's why giving up fruit. I can't give up fruit because, you need fruit. I mean, it doesn't look like I'm someone who actually eats fruit, but you need a little bit of I know Jonathan says you can promise to do things. I like to do that too. I make, the things that I do proactively for others. It's that's sort of I keep between me and him upstairs. I don't share some of the things that I do, but part of sort of again the almsgiving is giving to others. But I also do like to give. I've given up meat. I've given up carbs. Whew, that was a tough Lent. I've given up pasta. I've given up snacks. Also very tough. I've given up coffee. I've given up caffeine. Whew, also a difficult Lent. As I'm getting older, I have to sort of temper my enthusiasm in terms of what I give up. Nate, I was waiting for somebody to say it. Says, I'd say give up sweets since you're not normally a sweets guy, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Give up salt. I can't give up salt. It's so good and I need it in everything. And again, I'm going to Italy. See, I couldn't even give up fruits and vegetables because those are things that are included on many of the dishes that I'm going to be eating. So I'll figure something out. I will figure something out because it's got to burn a little bit. It's got to hurt like a little bit. Otherwise, it doesn't necessarily count. But carbs and pasta and pizza and sausage, maybe even a little wine, not going to be on the... Federico says Ash Wednesday is Thanos' favorite holiday. It is not going to be on the list, so we will figure it out. And in addition to, forgot to say that in addition to, we've got Italy, we've got our cruise on the Fantasy in April, we've got our Wyoming trip in July. I also announced last week officially our Nat Geo, our first ever WDW Radio exclusive Nat Geo expedition, Danube Christmas Market River Cruise, Budapest, Bratislava, Vienna, Wachau Valley, Salzburg, Passau, and Munich, December 9th through the 16th. I cannot wait for this. This is going to be like a trip of a lifetime. I've never done a river cruise before. I hear nothing but amazing things, and I'm really looking forward to experiencing how the Nat Geo brand does it, right? Because there's not only a National Geographic guide, but there's a National Geographic photographer teaching you how to take photos. There's all kinds of special amenities on board the cruise that you can take part in. More importantly, the ship only holds about 175 people. So we already have a number of people from the WDW Radio family who are booked on to go. So it's going to be nice to have a lot of that ship for our friends, for our group, and to do a lot of those things together. So if you're interested, you can go again to www.radio.com/NatGeo23. You can get a free no obligation quote. There's a lot more details on there that we also discussed last week. So definitely go and check it out and come and join us because it's going to be an amazing time. And as long as we're talking about events, I might as well mention this at the top. Switching gears a little bit, I also have 2 seats left for my Momentum Weekend Retreat in Walt Disney World. It is an entrepreneurial retreat for 3 days, Friday and Saturday and Sunday, April 28th through the 30th, where 10 like-minded entrepreneurs get together to literally not only transform their business, but transform their lives in a very intimate, intense, but yet fun weekend as well, and a vacation home here in near Walt Disney World. All you need to do is show up. I take care of everything else. Yes, that includes food and snacks. There's currently only 2, possibly 1 seat left. So if you're interested, visit visit LouMangello.com/retreat. While you're there, you might find something new on that site as well, but I digress. Because tonight, we are here to play a little or a lot of Walt Disney World trivia. So we are going to go ahead and get started. The way trivia is played, and I really love this method, is I'm going to read off a multiple choice trivia question. I will give you 4 options, 4 multiple choice options. In order to answer the question, you need to put that option number as a comment. So you have to respond not with the actual answer. Don't say, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride hit, is it ABCD? No, number 2. ABCD? I don't know. It's either ABCD or 1, 2, 3, 4, but put your answer in there. The computer will tally up the scores, and speed counts. Speed counts. And the last few times that we've done this, some of you have done really, really well, and the top 3 spots have been super close. A lot of them has come down to time. So we're going to Jeff C. Multiple choice. You do have a chance. You literally have a 1 in 4. And if my mathematics are correct, that's a 25% chance. Usually I'll put one in that's an obvious. It's like the SATs, but less pressure. There's usually one that's obviously wrong. So it comes down to a 1 in 3. I try and make this as fun and as simple as possible. So let's go ahead. I will fire this up and we'll move over to, if this works correctly. Yes, there it is. There it is. All right, so we're going to start in about 45 seconds. Again, make sure that when you put your answer in, you put your answer into the comments and do it as quickly as you can in order to get credit fastest. So yes, Holly, you just comment. Hopefully you're watching via the, if you're watching on the replay, it is not obviously going to work, but if you are watching live, you can certainly participate. More importantly, just have fun. Bill Fox's in-world showcase, waiting for Harmonious, possibly for the last time. Enjoy, my friend. We'll be finishing in plenty of time. So 3, 2, 1. Here we go with the first question of the evening. In Ellen's Energy Adventure, may you rest in peace, Dream Ellen welcomes Bill Nye, the science guy. Bill says he actually came to see who? Is it Stephen Hawking? Is it Ellen's dog? Is it Albert Einstein? Or is it Thomas Alva Edison? Who does Ellen say she really came to see who does Bill Nye say he really came to see when he comes to Ellen's apartment? And obviously, for some reason, Ellen doesn't lock her front door. It doesn't matter. So who does Ellen come to see? Stephen Hawking, Ellen's dog, Albert Einstein, or Thomas Edison? The answers are pouring in fast and feverishly. Did you get this one right? Do you know what the answer is? It is, of course, Einstein. And if you remember, you see Albert Einstein later on. So this was a relatively, I thought, an easy one to kick off. If you said Edison, that's okay. It was a little tricky for Edison because he does talk about a light bulb at some point, but that's right. This was sort of like a warm-up question because now when you first enter the oh so delicious Skipper Canteen, which I need to review again because the menu has changed. If only there was anybody. When you enter Skipper Canteen, the first area that you see is what? Is it the waterfall room? Is it the mess hall? Do you go right into the kitchen, or do you enter Dr. Fall's office? Where do you enter when you first enter Skipper Canteen? What's that first sort of main room that you enter? Is it the waterfall room, the mess hall, the kitchen, or is it Dr. Fall's office? This is one of the ones that I think is relatively simple. And by the way, once you get your answer in, have you eaten at Skipper Canteen? And if so, what is the best thing that you had there? You can also mention the cheese bread and the chimichurri steak because both of those are outstanding. I did a review of this when it first opened. The menu is different. I need to go back. It is, of course, the mess hall. You do not want to probably enter the kitchen. I don't even know if there's such a thing as the waterfall room. And while you see a sign, I believe you see a sign for Dr. Alberta Fall's office. You don't actually go in there. Although Skipper Canteen, I have to tell you, has a treasure trove of Easter eggs. According to the signs posted in the queue of Cali River Rapids, who is the owner? Let's see how well you pay attention. Things get a little more difficult. Is it Sanjay Rinchan? Is it Manisha Goring? Is it Deepak Gupta or Chodak Champa? Who is the owner of the Cali River Rapids? I can hear you cursing me out now because you're like, Mangello, I'm just in the queue. I want to go ride the ride. I know I'm going to get soaking wet. I've never really paid attention to who the owner is. But now you'll be able to amaze and bore your friends, much as I have for decades, by knowing that, of course, the owner of Cali River Rapids is, I'm watching your answers come in, it is Manisha Goring. I'm not going to tell you where you can find it in the queue, but it's actually relatively obvious. So you can find it. And if you have a picture, post it in the clubhouse so you can show other people. I know this one was confusing and you probably never paid attention, but that's the whole idea. I want you to sort of stop and look around. And listen, because where in Walt Disney World have you heard this phrase? I'm not going to do it a bad impression. A world we've only just begun to explore with tools we've only just begun to imagine. Very dramatic. Is it Universe of Energy, The Living Seas, Space 220, or Horizons? A world we've only just begun to explore with tools we've only just begun to imagine. Relatively dramatic reading, but not an impression. And the answer is, of course, and I think it'll make sense once you see the answer, if you didn't get it right, a world we've only just begun to explore probably means somewhere up above or somewhere down below. And the answer is, of course, the living seas. There's so much of our oceans, like, what is it? We've only explored like 1%, 3% of the world's oceans. So Horizons was a great guess. Space 220, probably not as much, but I was getting hungry, and I need to go do a live review of Space 220. It is on the list very, very soon. On Star Tours, which is not a possible destination, which is not one of the multiple destination adventures you can go on. Is it 1, Tatooine, 2, Jakku, 3, Hoth, or 4, Alderaan? On your Star Tours flight, which is not a possible destination, Tatooine, Jakku, Hoth, or Alderaan. You don't need to be a Star Wars fan, but I'm really hoping it is an overwhelming number of people that got this one correct, because if you're going to Alderaan, you're doing it wrong, because there's no Alderaan left. That is obviously the planet. Zach Brown, I'm looking for galactic love in Alderaan places. It is obviously number 4, Alderaan. You actually do go to all the other destinations. It's why, see, now you got to go back and ride Star Tours. I haven't ridden Star Tours in possibly years. It may have been years. I don't go to the parks that much. And when I do, it's usually to eat or research a nation scavenger hunt. Next, let's go back in time to Superstar Television, where it featured a skit based on this TV Western. Kids' Westerns were these weekly sort of episodic shows on TVs from the Old West. It was Maverick, Gunsmoke, F Troop, or Bonanza. And I almost started doing the, I don't want to give away the theme. I don't want to give away the answer, because I almost started sort of humming, somewhat singing along one of the theme songs, because I actually watched, I used to like some of the Westerns. F Troop was more of a comedy, and the others were a little bit more serious, dramatic shows. Lauren Green, anybody? Anybody know Lauren Green from something other than later on in his career watching him on Love Boat? It was, of course, Dun 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 Bonanza. There you go. That's the extent of my singing. Maverick was the movie with, oh God, his name just popped out of my head. Whatever, I can't remember. F Troop was really funny. It was campy and funny. And it was not Gunsmoke. It was, of course, Bonanza. Ask your grandparents what Bonanza was, Zach Brown. Next, the Fiesta Fun Center, where I spent much time, I spent a lot of hours in the Fiesta Fun Center, and many of my parents' quarters. Was I at Disney's Polynesian Resort? Was I at Coronado Springs, in the Contemporary Resort, or was I in Adventureland? Where did I spend my time? Where did I spend my quarters? I was a video game junkie as a kid. I loved going to Woodbridge Center Mall, going to Spaceport, with a roll of quarters, and even going to Atlantic City with my parents. I spent many, many, many hours in arcades, including the Fiesta Fun Center, which is sadly no longer there, but has been replaced with some, I can't say it's equally as good, but man, oh man, that Stack Burger is really good. Actually, I was just at Steakhouse 71 the other day, which is where the Fiesta Fun Center used to be. It was a huge, huge cavernous area. I know salad is normally something that your food eats, or it's sort of like a coming attraction, knowing that the good food is coming, but good gosh, they had a great salad there. I need to do something. I have Italy coming up. Where in Walt Disney World Have you heard this phrase? Feel all the wonderful motions flowing through things far and near. It's almost singable. Is it Universe of Energy, The Seas with Nemo and Friends, Guardians of the Galaxy, Cosmic Rewind, or Phantasmic? Where can you feel all the wonderful motions flowing through things far and near? Where in the world can you feel all the wonderful motions flowing through things far and near? If I was a singer, and I'm not, other than not even in the shower, I'm really more of a car singer. I feel like I've got the Epcot 80s voice, and I can sing this theme from Universe of Energy because I know it by heart, but I will not make you suffer through that. You just had to hear me talk about restrooms for an hour and a half this week, so. My God, that tea's hot. But you can hear it. Like, now that you hear the words, if you remember the old original Universe of, and go back to the music of Epcot show, like the music from Universe of Energy was wonderful. We're going to go back in time again, stay in Epcot Center. When Illuminations 25 first premiered, is Harmonious still there? Have they gotten rid of those barges yet? When Illuminations First 25 was first sponsored by no one, had no sponsor, GE, Coca-Cola, or AT&T. And I'll give you a not-so-helpful hint. GE, Coca-Cola, and AT&T were all original sponsors in Epcot Center. So any of those, AT&T was Bell Labs at the time that it sponsored Spaceship Earth. Bell Labs eventually merged and became AT&T. But who was the original sponsor, if anyone? Maybe it was no one. A lot of things didn't have sponsors at the beginning, but it was, of course, General Electric was and remains a huge sponsor for Walt Disney World. Looking back, and most of you got this one correct. But yeah, pretty much most everything at Epcot had a sponsor. It was like the opening of Disneyland. Like, they needed sponsors in order to get those pavilions built. True Colors. True Colors was the pre-show music for what Walt Disney World attraction? Was it Take Flight? Was it Magic Journeys? Was it Journey into Imagination? Or Delta Dream Flight? So I gave them a couple that are close, Take Flight and Dream Flight, Magic Journey, Journey into Imagination, just to confuse you. Just to make me, I think it's this, but now I'm starting to hear that other word, maybe it's the other thing. If you know it, you know it. I am not going to do my awful Cyndi Lauper True Colors song rendition. But think about True Colors. Think about what pavilion used a sense of imagination and colors. It wasn't Journey to Imagination, but it was the pre-show for Magic Journeys, which also had a great song too. A little creepy. It was a little weird, a little creepy. Those kids sort of running around in the field. It was very early 80s vibe. It doesn't matter. It's gone now. Go watch the video with the lights on, because it was a strange whatever. Let's stay in the... I was in a very musical mood tonight for some reason when I wrote these questions. Who sings or sang a song about gravity? God, I want to sing this one too. Was it Tom Morrow, also from Epcot Center? Was it The Timekeeper? Was it Stitch or Sunny Eclipse? Who sang a song about gravity? Some people are saying, I don't know what Magic Journeys is. I remember I thought it was in the Land Pavilion. Up. The pre-show you should be able to find that on the YouTubes somewhere. Irene says, I'm not very good at this, but it doesn't matter because I am learning a ton. You don't want to hear me sing. I'm telling you. If you've heard me sing, you know you're going to be texting me not to sing. But it, of course, sings a song literally entitled Gravity, backed up by who Sunny Eclipse is back. I don't think this is a question, is it? No, it's the Space Angels. Backed up by, I think this might be a solo by Sunny. I'm not even sure if the Space Angels sing in this one. Tom Morrow was a little robot in Communicore when Epcot first opened. There was a Tom Morrow 2.0 later on, but not the same. Where in the world have you heard this phrase? Again, this is not an impression or an impersonation. How's the weather in there? Clear and warm, Captain, about 98.6. Was it World of Motion, not Carnium Command, Cranium Command. I'm not a very good typist. Body Wars, or cue the James Mason impression. I'm not going to do it. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. How's the weather in there? Clear and warm, Captain, about 98.6. The temperature itself is the giveaway. Because you see Captain, you're like, oh, it's got to be 20,000 leagues. But then wait a minute, you're like, it's the body, maybe it's Cranium Command. It's not that either. And it's certainly, see, World of Motion, I think, was one that you could easily knock out. It was, of course, Body Wars. Directed by, who directed Body Wars? Exactly, Leonard Nimoy of Star Trek fame. Go figure. Again, full of useless knowledge. It doesn't matter. Body Wars. Becky Mencken is like, what is a body war and how have I never seen it? Because there's no bar in the Wonders of Life Pavilion. What is the missing word in this Walt Disney's Carousel of Progress quote? And I quote, yeah, and maybe sometime in the new century, your father will learn how to talk to our refrigerator. Who spelled this? That's not how you spell refrigerator in that century or this. It's refrigerator, the oven, the microwave, or the dog. Who is saying it? Your father is going to learn how to talk to our... Man, I got to type better. Your father's going to learn to talk to our refrigerator, dog, microwave, or oven. Who is Dad eventually going to hopefully learn how to talk to? And here in 2023, you can talk to most of those devices. If they answer back, then it gets a little weird. But it is, of course, the oven. If he was talking to the dog and getting an answer, he's got a different problem altogether. So I'm going to cue that DSI of Carousel. Maybe, you know what? Maybe I'll do that for tomorrow's show from the archives. Which, by the way, I want to know if you guys are enjoying. COP. Who is the mascot for Disney's Wilderness Lodge? Who is the sort of official, unofficial mascot of Disney's Wilderness Lodge? Is it Pocahontas, Pecos Bill, Paul Bunyan, or Humphrey the Bear? 72% of the people are going, who or what is a Humphrey the Bear? I don't remember that Saturday morning cartoon. It wasn't. It was not. But who is the mascot? Is it Pocahontas, Pecos Bill, who makes a darn fine cheeseburger, by the way? But it's Wednesday and I can't have meat and I'm fasting today. I'm famished, by the way, just an FYI. So that's what I can attribute the bad typing to, is the Ash Wednesday fasting. I sort of turn my Catholicism up to 11 on some days, but it is of course, Humphrey the Bear, Pecos Bill getting a few, Pocahontas getting, everybody got a few votes. It was a little bit more confusing than I thought, but you can find Humphrey the Bear right by the Wilderness Lodge gift shop, whose name escapes me. So, what is the name of the arcade? I'm going back to my arcade days again at Disney's Art of Animation Resort, which, by the way, has a fantastic food court. Is it Quarters, Pixel Play, Game On, or Flynn's? I know what I would like it to be, but it's not. I just have to say one more time. When Tron opens, if the old Tomorrowland Power and Light Company, and Mike, I know you're here, this is actually your idea first, and it's super smart. If they can make that a Flynn's arcade, like arcade games, old arcade games in the perimeter, and like a quick service, like grab and go food location inside, but like themed after the end of line club, so you get a little old school Tron, a little Tron Legacy in there, that would be like the perfect place for me. Which will also, by the way, usher in what I predict is going to be a huge, huge update to Tomorrowland. That's another conversation for another day, maybe even a Thursday non-archive show. But it is the Pixel Play arcade, now reopened in full force and effect. So, the Fanta Pineapple Beverage. It's got to be healthy because it contains pineapple. Offered at Club Cool in Epcot Center, is associated with which country? Is it Thailand, Peru, Greece, or China? Where can you find, if you went to one of these countries, where can you find Fanta Pineapple? Which is not as gross and sweet as it sounds. It's a little sweet, but where can you find, what country is that drink associated with inside Club Cool? And then you can tell me later on what your favorite drink in Club Cool is. Which one of the, I like the, it's the apple drink from, gosh, I forget where it's from. Chile? Well, anyway, the answer to this one, now I can't remember where my favorite drink is from. This one is actually from Greece. It's another place that we're going to be going on our future adventures by Disney, but don't tell Becky I said that to you, because she freaks the freak out when I start giving things away. Although I think she's on a plane. So if I do say something, we could just attribute it to like, no, Becky, you had bad reception. Don't worry about it. Where in the world have you heard this phrase? Making the world a better place starts in your own backyard. Is it Rafiki's Planet Watch? Living with the Land, we all love, Nature's Plan will shine above. Is it Goofy About Health? Or Circle of Life? Where in the world have you heard this phrase? Making the world a better place starts in your own backyard. Rafiki's Planet Watch, Living with the Land, Goofy About Health, or The Circle of Life, an environmental fable. Don't look at the weird images on the wall carpet. Kids, avert your eyes. Where can you hear or could have heard? It was, of course, Circle of Life, environmental fable, which, again, I'm sure you can find that on YouTube. I expected that one to be a little tricky because I'm not sure anybody was like, we need to book a trip to Disney World because I really want to. I haven't seen Circle of Life, an environmental fable, in a long time. It was fine. Not thrilling, but nice. Epcot, who taught you to talk? Epcot's Flower Power, read amongst yourselves. Epcot's Flower Power concerts were originally known as what? Were they stuck in the 80s, the Retrocade, Garden Rocks, or Earth Beats? The Flower Power concert series during the Epcot International Flower and Garden Festival, which is coming up in just a few weeks with new booths, by the way. I can't wait. If only there was anybody who can come and review that with me one day, one night, or both. The Flower Power concerts originally had a different name. What was it? Was it stuck in the 80s, Retrocade, Garden Rocks, or Earth Beats? I have to put on my glasses to read the comments because they're just so teeny tiny. It is, of course, Garden Rocks. Stuck in the 80s was a podcast I used to listen to like years ago, which, again, I don't think exists anymore. I still want to do my other podcast, but I've got other projects coming up. So stay tuned. I'm going to be sharing that possibly this week. I'm going to announce something I've been working on very, very soon. So stay tuned. If you see Nigel and Darla, where are you? If you see Nigel and Darla, are you at Sounds Dangerous, Flights of Wonder, Finding Nemo the Musical, or Doug Live? If you see Nigel and Darla, where are you? Or maybe I should say, if you saw Nigel and Darla, where were you? Where would you find Nigel and Darla? I'm watching the answers coming in, not like the movie, but fast and furious. Very, very few incorrect answers here. I think this was way more obvious. I think Darla is what gave it away. I should have asked maybe just Nigel and some other relatively obscure character. Kendall Foreman, 1, how are you? 2, I miss you. 3, reach out. We need to do a segment again soon. And I never saw an episode of Doug Live. Ever. Like, I know sort of what Doug is. I've never actually seen an episode of it. And if you see Nigel and Darla, you're at Sounds Dangerous. The giveaway is you don't see anybody in Sounds Dangerous. So maybe actually you used to at the beginning for like a second. You saw Drew Carey, and it was, of course, Finding Nemo the Musical. I'm not sure what question number we're on. It doesn't really matter because we've got 25. Where in the world have you heard this phrase? Again, what you listen to is just as important what you see. Rise and shine. Let's go, team. We've got a problem. Well, it's not meant to be an impression, just a somewhat emphatic reading. Is it from The Timekeeper, Mission Space, Cranium Command, or Alien Encounter? Rise and shine. Let's go, team. We've got a problem. It's when things go horribly wrong that usually Disney movies and attractions kick in. Jacob Campbell misses Sounds Dangerous. So much fun. It was. Again, it was a tough attraction to convince some writers, especially kids, to go and participate in because it was completely in the dark. Gary Sinise, How I Love You So, not just for your role in Forrest Gump, your role in Mission Space, but you're an all-around just good human being and a heck of a fine American too. So it will always be Gary Sinise. He will be forever be. We all have like favorite narrators for different attractions. It's always Gary Sinise. Hat, which is supposed to be what? What one word does Flounder say in Mickey's PhilharMagic? Flounder makes a brief cameo appearance in Mickey's PhilharMagic. What is the one thing he says? Is it uh-oh, sweet, hi, or cool? What one word does Flounder say in Mickey's PhilharMagic? This is where people are sitting home going, does this guy ever get out of the house? Has he like ever kissed a girl? Who knows that? Who pays that close of attention? Nobody. But it's fun and it's trivial, which is why it's trivia night. I am pleasantly surprised and so darn proud of you that so many of you got this one correct. And it was, of course, cool. I can't do a Flounder impression, so don't even. I think this is question 22 we are coming up on. So we have 3. How you think you're doing? Right? You feeling good about it? You feeling good about your score tonight? Who is the cameraman in the fountain outside of Muppet Vision 3D? So that beautiful vintage bronze fountain. Who is the cameraman outside of Muppet Vision 3D? Is it Rizzo, Kermit, Gonzo, or Fozzie? Who is manning the antique camera in the bronze sculpture and fountain in front of Muppet Vision 3D, 4D? Actually, they used to call it Muppet Vision 4D, by the way, for a very short period of time, and I think it confused people. They went back. It had 3D and it was crossed out and it said 4D. So it once again is 3D. Somebody says I'm going to go with my gut and not let the audience influence me. It was, of course, Fozzie Bear. Because you start just picturing in your mind like, wait a minute, I can see Rizzo standing there, but maybe it's actually Kermit. It makes more sense that Kermit would be the director or the cameraman. Maybe it's a Gonzo, but it was, of course, Fozzie Bear. And some of you are like, no, Mangello, you're wrong. I know it's Gonzo. You're going to start Googling, but I assure you. Comedian Martin Short, who I love so very much for so many reasons, was featured in, I don't know why, 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 Walt Disney World attractions. Which one was he not featured in? The Making of Me. Let's go to Epcot and teach our kids how babies are made. 2, Superstar Television. 3, Oh Canada. Or 4, The Monster Sound Show. Comedian Martin Short was featured in 3 different Walt Disney World attractions. Which was he not in? Jennifer Smith posted a Canadian flag, which does not count as an answer, but he is Canadian. So, of course, he was in Oh Canada. I don't want to give you the answers away because I see some of you still posting them in there. But he was not in Superstar Television. Superstar Television, OG, opening day, which was a question, I think, on 2 weeks ago, trivia contest on the show. He was not in Superstar Television. A number of other comedians were there, a little bit older than Martin Short, but that was trickier than I thought. Soundstage 12 at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Most of the buildings are soundstages and have soundstage numbers on them. You have to sort of look up and try and find them. Soundstage 12 is home to 1, Voyage of the Little Mermaid, for now. 2, Star Tours. 3, Rock and Roller Coaster starring someone, some people. Or 4, Muppet Vision 3/4D. Which show, which attraction is found in Soundstage 12 at Disney's Hollywood Studios? Home not only to this attraction, but some really darn good tachos, which I enjoyed with you just a couple of weeks ago. Speaking of which, I might be doing another show live this weekend, so stay tuned. It is, of course, Star Tours. It is Star Tours. Yeah, it's Saturday. After the Princess 10K. I may be live again. Stay tuned. I will let you guys know in the clubhouse tomorrow. This is question 24, 25. I'm not even sure. It doesn't matter. In what Epcot attraction could you design your own thrill ride? Was it the Sum of All Thrills, Stormstruck, Raytheon Racers, or Cyberspace Mountain? You could actually go in and... Becky's never had tachos. What? Which attraction could you design your own thrill ride? Now, this is a little bit tricky because one of the other answers is an attraction where you could design your own roller coaster, but it was not Cyberspace Mountain. Cyberspace Mountain was located where? Not in Tomorrowland, but in Disney Quest. May you forever rest in peace, Cheesecake Factory. Raytheon was the sponsor of this attraction. Stormstruck was the hurricane prevention and awareness thing, but Sum of All Thrills, it had the big Kuka arm. This is what a big Kuka arm looks like. And you were able to sort of pick your levels of intensity. That attraction was not for everybody. I know some folks did not... it was a little less thrilling for some than others. But anyway, here are our winners, and this is what I mean. Gosh, you guys are good. We have not one, not two, but three people who had 18 out of the 25 correct. Coming in first runner-up is Whitney Breckner. Second runner-up is Paula Mundy. And coming in first, wait, I have an applause here somewhere. Wait, I'm not sure if that's actually coming through, but it is Emily Ennis. Emily, you did so well. All of you did so well. But Emily, since you came in first, do me a favor. Email me, lou@wdwradio.com, your name and your address. Remind me that you were the winner of tonight's trivia contest. I am going to go into the prize closet. And oh, by the way, I went into the prize archives today and found some other really cool prizes. I'm going to send you something, you know what? Not from the prize closets. I'm going to go into the prize archives. I'm going to send you something from the prize archives. So thank you very much for playing. All of you did an amazing job. I thought I had another sound I wanted to play, but I won't. So congratulations again to everyone for playing this week. Here's the question for you. Do you enjoy, it seems that you did and do you enjoy these kind of interactive trivia games and some of these other things that we do on Wednesday nights? I love doing these. You know, my history, where I came from and how all of this got started was with trivia, with my Walt Disney World trivia books, which I can't believe the first one came out 19 years ago. I'm literally approaching my 20th year of doing this next year, which is nuts. NVTS nuts. So I love being able to do these and sort of get back to some of the stuff that really got me started down this incredible wild ride and journey. And sharing the trivia stuff with you is always a lot of fun. And because I want these shows, the podcast is, I put it out and I sort of wait for the response. I love live so much because we get to do this together. Even though I'm sitting here in my room by myself, I'm actually sitting with, 140 or so of you who are watching, and as well as those of you who are watching on the replay. So thank you very much. We will certainly do this more. Congratulations again to Emily, our top three finishers, and everybody who played and did so very well. Jeff C says stakes should be higher for trivia like the Running Man or Hunger Games. It's so funny you mentioned the Running Man. I was thinking about the Running Man the other day, and I have to watch that again. Like, that's a late night fall asleep movie. First of all, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger, Richard Dawson, oh my God, Jesse the Body Ventura, in a story written by Stephen King. A lot of people don't know that The Running Man was a Richard Bachman book. He wrote it under a pseudonym, but it's a Stephen King story. And yeah, Becky just said you won't be by yourself for long. That gave me a slight palpitation. It must just be the excitement that Becky is coming to town and we get to spend early mornings together. Yay. Dawn Wells said, I read the book, love trivia nights and some chronologically challenge. I don't do that well. Listen, it's less about how well you do than having fun, doing something Wednesday night with friends, and maybe, just maybe, learning something along the way. Jessica Boynton, this is, man, I'm going to get this right. 20 years I've been doing this. Live video since 2007. So for 16 years, I still can't remember which shoulder to point over. That is Daredevil there. There's also Daredevil. Oh my God, Mangello, you're so bad. There's Daredevil there. There's Daredevil there. Wait, I had another Daredevil on here somewhere. Wait a minute. Oh, you can't see him. But in that little shadow box, wait, I have to show this because this is kind of cool. I just started doing this. Because I thought this was super fun. I'm not like a huge collector of things. And in fact, I'm trying to like collect less things, but I still like, I'm a nerd and I like the things that I like and I don't want to sort of clutter up the space. And I've always loved Lego as a kid. My son loves Lego. I actually have a Lego from Christmas that I have to build. And so I've got this cool little shadow box of Lego figures. So I was like, I'm going to start like collecting little Lego figures. And let's see if I can do this way. Wait. Sorry about the glare. So I've got a whole bunch of Daredevils. I just did this today. I've got Daredevils. I've got some Moon Knights. I've got Spider-Ham. I've got to go into my closet because I got a bunch of Spider-Man and Green Goblin little figures. And so I've got them in a cool little like shadow box that could either stand up. I'm going to hang this one on the wall somewhere. So I have like all the different iterations of Daredevil in there. Who, man, I dig me some Daredevil. I am Daredevil. I'm a Catholic lawyer recovering. I'm blind as a bat. My contacts are as thick as Coke bottles, and I need reading glasses. There's more similarities to Daredevil, but I won't get too far into it. I'll talk to my shrink about that. So, did I get those at the expo, Zach Brown? It is the Zach Brown, but not that Zach Brown. This is the Zach Brown from the Zach Brown show, not the Zach Brown band. I ordered some of the Daredevils online. I had gotten Spider-Ham I got Spider-Ham earlier. I got Khonshu and Moon Knight at the House of Mouse Expo. And they're super cool, super detailed. So it's why I love things like... I love going to MegaCon because there's always a bunch of cool ones that you can get there too. So Sean says, I'm trying to see the whiteboard in the reflection. The whiteboard has actually changed. It's still there, but there's been different stuff that's on there. There's something that I just deployed, but I'm not ready to show you yet. I'll be ready to show you next week, maybe the end of this week. Something I'm not ready to show you just. It's done. It's ready. I just need a couple of extra sets of eyes on this thing. So, so he says, watch out. I'm going to show you the white. Wow, you're so rich in the whiteboard. Chrissy Figs. Yeah, and the nice thing about collecting the minifigs is that, oh, you're not going to see the whiteboard, is that they're not expensive. I mean, you can get them in some of the Lego sets, but you can also find them online, and there's also fan-made ones, too. You can create your own Lego minifigure if you go to the Lego store in Disney Spring. I got to stop scratching your head. I've got ashes on my fingers now. Chuck Lionberger with Mouse Fan Travel says, Daredevil, yellow gold mask or red mask? The yellow gold is the original Daredevil, but I'm sort of actually I really like the Netflix version with the red and the black is really cool. The new yellow and sort of gold and red from She-Hulk, which is sort of the current iteration, which is here, is starting to grow on me because it does sort of harken back and call back to the original. So I do like the sense of nostalgia. Anthea says, I've been watching Daredevil because of you. I'm actually it's on my list of things to watch again. Again, I don't watch a lot of TV. I usually just watch stuff as I fall asleep. There's a few things here and there. Like I'm watching The Last of Us, and Servant. I'm sure nobody else is watching Servant, but now like I'm all in on Servant on Apple TV. But I do love going back and I really do think that, I just screwed this up. I think that Daredevil is, an argument can be made that Daredevil is some of, if not the best overall content that Marvel Studios has put out. Period. Big screen, small screen. I need to have a Marvel conversation, especially now with the introduction of the first step of Phase 5. I am not going to talk about Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania here. I will save that for our Nation call, which is, I believe, Monday. Those conversations can happen in the spoiler support group too. But we're entering a new phase of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I think Marvel storytelling. I think there's a conversation that needs to be had about where it was, where it is, and where it's going, how to sort of prepare for it. Maybe some of the best that we've seen from the studios in the past, and maybe what we're most excited, looking forward to. Becky, finish Daredevil. The final season with Daredevil, and so good. So good. Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin is outstanding. Outstanding. Christine says Moon Knight was so cool. I know Moon Knight was not everybody's cup of tea. I loved it. I loved Moon Knight. It was so different. Oscar Isaac was brilliant in being able to play multiple characters and switch between them so very quickly. Yeah, Elizabeth Meankin, the Moon Knight ones are super cool. The Moon Knight ones, the Khonshu one, you can't really tell, but he also has like a fabric cape, and he's got sort of these, you can see like the fabric that hangs down in front of him as well too. So, but yeah, Becky, go back and see finish the Netflix version. It's not for kids. There is a level of violence associated with the Netflix Daredevil series, which is obviously now on Disney Plus, but it is an absolute worthwhile watch. I wish I could be as consistent and sort of make it like something we could watch together, but I know I don't have the bandwidth to be able to do it. So Hannah, if you're looking for Daredevil, that and the other old Netflix Marvel shows are all on Disney Plus. Again, sort of turned a page for Disney Plus, bringing more mature R-rated content onto the platform. The other ones are not, I don't think, as good. Defenders was okay. Iron Fist was not really super watchable. Punisher's very good. First season was really good. Second season was okay, but Daredevil is the best of the best. So the Daredevil movie, be careful, Karen, because the Daredevil movie was in that weird phase of Marvel before it was Marvel, and it's Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner. It's not great. It's not. There's some really like cringy moments. It's watchable, but it is not part of MCU canon. It is very different than the Daredevil that you will see on Disney Plus. So, yeah, Jeff C says you make sure your permissions allow you to see the R-rated and more mature content on Disney Plus. It is a proactive setting that you have to choose. Ellen and Matt Shaw, Iron Fist. It's a shame because it's a good character and it was really not great. Garrett says we should do a group watch of Howard the Duck. I am going to bring back the Disney Plus pick of the week. I actually have one. I have one sort of ready. I have a couple of them that are ready to go, but just because of my travel schedule, especially with Italy coming up. When I come back, we're going to get back into the Disney Plus picks of the week. I will give you a hint and a heads up. Tron is going to be on that list. Tron 1982 and Tron Legacy, especially as we get closer to the opening of Tron in April. You might want to watch those in advance. Get ahead of your homework, as it were. But Goofy Movie is good. Yeah, Goofy Movie. I think actually Goofy Movie is what I have. I think that's what I have queued up. Yeah. So I have Goofy Movie queued up, but it is not going to be for this week because next week I will not be here. I'm going to we'll be live next week, but not from the studio. I will be out and about. I'll be out and about somewhere fun and festive and delicious. There you go. So the group watch of Moon Knight was fun. We're going to do that again. We did a nation group watch where literally we sort of logged into a different platform. I was able to pull it up and there was a chat on the side and we watched the shows together after the Wednesday nights. I don't know what the next, we could do that for a movie. We could do a nation movie night and do a watch party together. If you're in the nation, do me a favor, head on over to the nation group. Let me know if you would watch, because it's a longer buy-in to do it. But would you want to do a nation group watch movie night where it's not me on screen, it's just the movie, but we can chat together in the chat room. The Apple Dumpling Gang and the Apple Dumpling Gang rides again. Don't forget. The original Tron and Tron Legacy, visually breathtaking, groundbreaking films. The script writing could have been a little, and in some cases, a lot better. The stories are a little convoluted. It doesn't necessarily flow very well, but it's more about what you see and what you hear than yeah. Becky, don't diss the Black Hole because otherwise I'm going to make us watch Black Hole together. Maybe that's what you need. Maybe Becky needs to watch the Black Hole together so we can enjoy the offerings of Vincent and Slim Pickens and like a great cast. Not the best story, but the best ending was like so good. So good. Emily says once, yeah, the Moon Knight watch. Yeah, we'll do that again. We could do that. Jason Schwabero. Jason says, Condor Man. Becky, if you liked Black Hole, you're going to love Condor Man. We could do those two. Put those, Beatrice, not the Black Hole. Put your list. Here you go. Start a poll. Somebody start a poll, if you can, please, in the Nation group of, or even in the Clubhouse, of movies that you would want to watch together. Do it in the Nation group of movies you want to watch together for a watch party. So Tron Legacy, Goofy Movie, Black Hole. So yes, Laura Fry, you can still join the Nation. You can join. Wait, let me see if I can pull this up here for you. Wait. You can join the Nation by going to www.radionation.com. You can join anytime. And I obviously sincerely appreciate you and anybody and everybody who is part of the Nation. Becky, if only I could do shots before. Don't talk about doing shots before the ending. Darren Meemkin says, Darby O'Gill and the Little People for St. Patrick's Day build-up. I'm not going to be here. I'm going to be in Italy for St. Patrick's. I'm going to be closer to Ireland, but we're not going to be able to watch Darby O'Gill. But watch amongst yourselves. Talk about it. Have at it. So Jonathan Embry, I saw the two words I didn't want to see. I know your opinion, Lou Mangello, but what is people's opinion on Jared Leto in the next Tron? I'm unsure is mine. Jonathan Embry, look, all I'm going to say is this. I just believe that Jared Leto must be like the son of the founder of the Illuminati or something, because how is he consistently in starring roles in all of these movies that tank? Morbius. Like, I don't know that I'm loving him in Tron, but maybe his role will be one that is more... I'm frighteningly optimistic, but so we'll see. So Valerie, I love Atlantis. I also think Treasure Planet is a wildly overlooked movie. Condor Man, I don't know if Condor Man's on Disney Plus yet. It might be. Can somebody look and see? Can somebody look and see if Condor Man is on Disney Plus? My kids loved Emperor's New Groove. Beatrice Vokes for The Ugly Dachshund. I don't know if I've seen that movie to completion. I don't know if I've seen the whole thing. Christine Tildy Marson said, Jared is awesome. Can you please tell me what, I'm not being funny, like tell me what he is awesome in. He had a relatively small role in American Psycho like 30 years ago, but what else was Jared Leto in that was awesome? Because I haven't seen it yet. He is a box office curse. He is a maybe they take him out like the beginning in Deep Blue Sea. Yeah, I don't know. I still have not seen Top Gun Maverick. That might be a plane ride to Italy type of thing. Sue Passauer, Meet the Robinsons is a wildly overlooked movie. I love Meet the Robinsons. I love the soundtrack. I love the character of Lewis. There's a lot that I really enjoy about that, but I think you're right. It's one that did not hit where it was supposed to. No Condor Man on Disney Plus. I'm not going to make anybody buy Condor Man, so we'll have to hold that one off until it actually is on. It actually is on Disney Plus. So, because it's not, it's definitely not one that you can or should go out and spend money for. So, the other thing I wanted to show you and share with you, and thank you again. I'm trying to stall as I look for, nope. I look for the graphic, which I clearly did not have ready to go. There it is. Okay. The Great Muppet Caper I haven't seen in years. So yeah, add all these to the list of ones that you want to see. But I think we have to watch Tron in advance of. So I'm letting you know ahead of time what your March homework is going to be. Tron from 1982 and Tron Legacy from 2010. 10 or 12? It's 10 or 12. And actually, oh gosh, the name of the guy who played Sam Flynn, his name's not, is his name Garrett? Is going to be at MegaCon next month. Becky, I sense sarcasm. Oh darn, I have to wait for a Condor Man. I'm crushed. So the question that I had for you, I announced this on the show a little while ago. You had your first taste of it this past week. What do you think about WDW Radio from the archives? What do you think about having this second show in your feed on Thursdays? Not only bringing back shows from the archives, giving some context, but also having that additional show on Thursday, which might give us the ability to do things like review a Marvel movie, talk about something that is new on Disney Plus, do a solo show, do a top 5 instead of a top 10, and maybe try and experiment with some other segments. Did you like the archives? Did you like the interview with Alice Davis? Let me know what other shows you'd like from the archives. What do you think about just having this second show in the feed? Jeff C., thank you very much for the positive reinforcement. It is more helpful than you think. Whenever you launch and introduce something new, there's always a little bit of a fear factor there, right? Because you just don't know what may or may not resonate with people. So thank you for that. Josh Smith says, I love the archive show. Carlos Bravo says, love it. Andrew Milan, the archives is awesome. Emily says, I love the second show. Love the archives. Ran out of listening material too quickly. As if you needed more Lou, which I didn't think that you did. That's that's Valerie says more Lou, sure. So yeah, I love the Alice Davis. I thought that was really I thought that was an appropriate one to kick things off with. So Garrett says, I love the archives. Listening to the old show is a great way to get to the top of the feed as opposed to scrolling up on the show page. Yeah, because I think if you find the show, I think it's hard to go back through and sort of navigating through, especially with some of the, I'm looking back and some of the titles for some of the episodes were a little bit more cryptic than they should be. Like just saying that there was a DSI or that there was a, like a hidden treasure and then not explaining what it was, it doesn't necessarily invite you to go and see what they were. So I have been spending the last few days going through some of those and trying to figure out what is next. I'm still deciding what I think tomorrow's should be, but maybe we will go back and because we talked about Carousel of Progress, maybe we'll look at the DSI from Carousel of Progress. Now you're going to hear some voices on some of the earlier shows that you haven't heard in years, and there's nothing bad that happened. But some other folks have just, moved on to greener pastures or sort of just disappeared off the face of the earth for one reason or another. But, I always had good relationships with everybody on the show, so I have no problem sharing those. Going to bring back some more DSIs. If you are somebody who would love, you're a researcher, you know your stuff, you want to participate in a DSI, I'm always open to you making your pitch, or in Garrett's case, making your plea to be on the show. Just email me, lou@wdwradio.com, and tell me what the show is, what you'd like to talk about, and why you're the person, why you are the one to be on the show. So, yeah, thank you for that. Jeff, see my voice. It's funny you said that because I listened back to one of the old episodes and I'm like, who is that kid? Who is that whiny? I'm literally using the same microphone, right? Some of the equipment's a little bit different. It's like the same microphone. I'm like, did I hit puberty at 40? Did something I had second puberty again at 40? I don't know what happened, but we should go back and play the very first, and I was looking for it, the very first episode that Becky was on. And that so sweet, maybe sweet and innocent is a stretch, but she was so relatively sweet and innocent. And so Josh says, I love listening to the old news and rumors and the Ustream shows, knowing what came true and what didn't. Some of those things just haven't come true yet. I'm still planting my flag on the tomorrow. Eventually Tomorrowland's going to change and I can go, see, I've been saying it for years. Here is the Tomorrowland update. It's the sweets that change voice. Matt Monaco, I am going to do a moving to Florida follow-up show. I think I'm going to bring back some of the folks who joined me on that one, some new folks who have since moved, and some other folks who have some different perspectives, and talk about that. I would love to maybe do that even as a live show, because maybe we can take some questions or I'll post something in the clubhouse and field some questions in advance, because I want to make sure that show brings as much value to you as the first one did. I'm not a numbers guy, but far and away, the Moving to Disney show, I still believe is the most downloaded show that I've ever done. So it is, I wish I could show you my calendar, which it would give you palpitations, but on my calendar, every month I move it down to another month. I'm Moving to Disney follow-up show, and I just haven't had the right time to go ahead and do it. But hopefully in the next few months, we will hit that again. Jason Knapp says, you've got that sultry Demi Moore. I thought you were going to say that sultry B. Arthur voice going now. Jason Knapp, by the way, from herewiththemagic.com, so much stuff. There's so much happening at herewiththemagic.com. It is a very far, wide, and deep rabbit hole of Disney and non-Disney goodness. And you can find all of his stuff at herewiththemagic.com and on the Facebooks and on YouTube. Forget Facebook. Just go to YouTube. I think everything that he does is over on YouTube. And that's, he's got a lot happening over there. A lot of good stuff. So, Beatrice says, there are several of us Florida folks now that are. That's what I mean. So Dan Boyle says, another Moving to Disney show. I promise you, I promise, when we come back from Italy, one of the first things that I will do is reschedule a move. Wait, when I come back from Italy, we have to get ready for Bermuda. When I come back from Bermuda, I promise we will do another show on moving to Disney. And if you have recently moved to Disney, because I know there's a lot of you, but if you want to participate, shoot me a message so I can add you to the list, because there's a lot. I want to include a lot of new voices, but I don't want to leave anybody out. But it's hard because we'll figure it out. We will figure it out. So, bring back the 40-hour broadcast. Jason, I'm not sure that's a good idea for anybody involved. Although, technically, I have to figure out how I want to do this, because my first book came out in 2004. So technically next year I will have been doing this. Like my first book, the website, the Disney World Trivia Forums all launched in 2004. So it's technically my 20th anniversary. The podcast, when it was Mouse Tunes, was 2005. So 2025 would be the 20th anniversary of the podcast. But really, WDW Radio started in 2007. So 2027, we get to celebrate 20 years just like over and over again for different types of, maybe a 20-hour show. I could probably do, I know I could do a 20-hour show. But yeah, and if you're coming to Bermuda, like, raise your hands in the air like you just don't care, because Bermuda is going to be a good time. I cannot wait. 8 days. 8 days together of a little bit more chill, a little more relaxing, overnight in Bermuda. Yeah. Melanie Beadle said, "You old, Lou Mangello." I don't know that that's meant to be a compliment. Someday we should do the backstory of I think we talked about the 40-hour show backstory, because the backstory and the lead up to the 40-hour show happened very, very quickly. But we will, as when we celebrate some other milestone, we'll talk about some of our favorite memories from the past 2 decades, which is nuts. Beatrice Dennis says, yeah. Eddie says, is there a bar in Bermuda? I'm there. Becky wouldn't go if there wasn't a bar. David Turner's going to be there. Jeff C is going to eat all the things. Jeff C's first time on the fantasy. Jeff C is getting a quick indoctrination into cruising and cruising as a group. You're going to love the fantasy, man. You're going to love the fantasy. So, Becky, don't you yell at me when I give away things and I talk about stuff that we're planning, and you just threw out the coast to coast idea. Now I have to tell them all about it. Fine, let me get my notes. Hold on. Let me talk to you about the coast to coast plan. So let me just kick Becky out so she doesn't hear it and see it. Brian wants to go play golf in Bermuda. Not a golfer. I'm a snacker. I'm gonna eat it. Is Bermuda going to be after Lent? Just want to make sure. Like, it's bad enough I got to navigate in Italy through Lent. I can't navigate a cruise during Lent too. Fridays would be tough. Fridays are going to be tough in Italy. A lot of pasta on Fridays. But the fasting thing is going to be tough. That doesn't matter. I will get to it. So anyway. So yeah, we've got a lot of fun stuff planned. Becky's going to be here this week. We've got a lot of planning to do when she comes there. Speaking of planning, if you are planning on coming, let's get rid of the archives. If you are planning on coming to Walt Disney World with us on any of our events, go to the events page at WDWradio.com. You can find out what we have coming up, including our meet of the month this Saturday in said Walt Disney World. It's going to be, I'll get to that in a second. But you can book your trip through and with mousefantravel.com. And our meet of the month, by the way, because I forgot, is actually going to be this Saturday, February 25th, during Princess Half Marathon Weekend at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Starring Rolls Bakery, Cafe, Oh, How I Loved You So. I'm so sad to see you gone, but we're going to meet for a little while after the race on Saturday afternoon, give the runners and the racers and the wheelers and the joggers and the woggers time to get back and do their thing, get some rest for the next day. And I think that's it. I already mentioned our Nat Geo cruise. You can get more information by going to wdwradio.com/natgeo23. You can also get a free no obligation quote. Different type of cruise, different type of destination. This is one I cannot wait for. Jeff C., I'm looking at you. And what else? What else am I forgetting? Thank you again to everybody who's part of the Nation family. I appreciate you so very much, your support, your friendship, your love, and I love being able to give back to you each and every month. If you are a Platinum member, stay tuned. Your next care package is on its way. I'm super, super excited to share this one, not just because of what's in it, but because of where it's coming from. I'll quickly tell you a story. I decided a few months ago that I really want to help some small creators, especially like furloughed cast members and people who just weren't able to sort of get back to doing what they're doing, but people who share a common love and passion for Disney and started a business. And I met this incredible young girl, this young woman who started a business during the pandemic. Like, she embodies and embraces everything that I love about entrepreneurship and Disney. And the second that I met her, I'm like, we need to do things to help you and your business. I don't want to give it away, but once Platinum members, once you get your care package, I'm going to share some information. And do me a favor, if you like what she is sending over, share it out too, because I really love to try and help her any way that I can. If you are a small creator, if you have a small business, have something that might you think be appropriate for a Platinum care package, let me know, reach out, let me know. Or if you know of a creator that you'd like to connect me with that might be able to do that. Again, I really just want to try and help other people as well. So again, thank you to everybody who's part of the Nation family, whether you are you're a new member, you're in for $1, whatever it might be. I sincerely, sincerely appreciate you. Check out the spoiler support group. I know I haven't upgraded the image, but there's some conversations going on about Quantumania and some other conversations are going to start soon about some of the other things that are happening in the Marvel and Star Wars universe. And thank you again. I love you so very much. This is my favorite night of the week. Thank you for spending and sharing it with me. I thank you for listening to the show, for supporting the new show on Thursdays. Look for that in your feed at some point tomorrow. Please, please, please help spread the word. That's all I ask you to do tomorrow. Share it on social, screenshot it, share it with your friends. However you could maybe do it to help spread the word is incredibly, incredibly helpful to the show and the community as a whole. If you're not a member of the Clubhouse, come and join the community and the conversation there. And always remember to please choose the good and, more importantly, be the good. Be that shining example for other people along the way. I love you. I appreciate you. So until next time, see ya.